If you're playing Elden Ring and you haven't tried out this weapon, you've got to give it a go because it's so flexible and so strong for the variety of things it can do and the damage that it can output. This is the Flamberge, which you may remember from the Dark Souls games, so it's really cool to see it in Elden Ring as well, but it's actually really good for a variety of builds. This is a greatsword that features a flame-like undulation, which is that shape of the blade that can shred enemy flesh and therefore has innate passive blood loss buildup on the weapon. It says in the description that Scarlet Rot is kept at bay with flames at the Redmane Castle, and as such, this beloved sword of Geron's eventually became the symbol of the castle itself. So lore-wise, this is really interlinked with the Redmane Castle, which is just a cool thing to know about the weapon. It only requires 15 strength and 14 dex. Of course, like we said, it has that passive blood loss buildup, which is huge, but what makes it even bigger is the fact that it can use a lot of different Ashes of War, as it has an Ash of War slot. This also means that you can pick a scaling type with that Ash of War slot that allows you to do things like occult, and as we know, weapons that already have bleed and then you spec them in occult while you're built for arcane is just absolutely insane for bleed builds. You could put the seppuku buff on this like many people do with bleed builds, or you could do something like double slash to just hit mobs faster and more quickly to trigger the bleed faster. And if you really want to spec fully into bleed, you could put this on occult with an arcane build, and we already have a video which will be linked in the description down below for a bleed build that's very powerful, and this weapon could slot into that very effectively and would just absolutely shred enemies and bosses very quickly. Obviously, bleed was nerfed recently, but this is still very powerful, as you can see in the video. But also, you could put this in multiple different directions. You could go for the cold spec for both frostbite and bleed, or the poison spec for both bleed and poison, or just go keen for a scaling in dex on a greatsword, which is very rare to see on a greatsword, and this might be, I don't know if it is, but it might be basically the best dex greatsword in the game with that A scaling, unless anyone finds an S scaling one. Furthermore, you could power stance this if you get a duplicate of it from either New Game Plus or a friend by trading, or you could power stance it with something like the Claymore if you prefer the moveset on that one more than on this one. I will say the Flamberge has a really nice back hop R1 attack that does a little spin, and overall I was very impressed by this weapon. You could do a dex build, a bleed build, a frostbite bleed build, a poison bleed build. The variety is there, the weapon is strong, it's an iconic weapon from past Dark Souls games. It's just a very cool one in how it looks as well if you want those more realistic looking weapons. So I was really happy to grab this and to try it out and find that it was actually really powerful. You can find this in Redmane Castle in Caelid. From the chamber outside the Plaza Grace Point, go to the southeast building of the area, run past all the flame turret enemies, make your way inside the building, up to the roof. There'll be a big pumpkin head enemy, just simply kill him or ignore him if you're fast enough, and the weapon is on this dead body that you'll see me looting pretty soon. And that's how you get it, so it's a once per playthrough obtainable weapon, or again, get a friend to trade you to do a power stance with it. But trust me guys, this was really fun to try out, and obviously greatswords have a very nice moveset on them as well that a lot of people probably already have got to grips with. So try this out for your build and see how you get on with it, and then let me know in the comments down below what you think of it, or if you found any other greatswords that you think rival this one for the different builds that it can work in. If you did enjoy this video, make sure to drop a like and subscribe down below, and we've got videos on the screen now that we think you will really enjoy if you've been enjoying these Elden Ring videos, so make sure to click them and don't miss out.